What's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in it for the Black.
You see me, you see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. Apply not to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy, say, to take it easy, say, feel so easy, say, easy to love. Say, to take it easy, say, feel so easy, say, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time, I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me, know how to say it without making me feel little. You're gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. If I said I didn't love you, wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why you make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Easy to love. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy.
WIFTBPM.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
WIFTBPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had engineered naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Lenders give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moe, in the building. I think we are waiting on DJ Riis to rule. He probably was both feeling it up this weekend. I think it was the Alphas found. Was it the Alphas Founders Day yesterday, too? So he probably was toasting it up at the party.
And you know what I'm saying? You probably just, you know, I go on a Monday after a long Sunday, and you'd be like, you know what, I remember being in the, when I was out and about, and I'd be looking at the clock, and it seemed like from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, the clock goes super slow. Then at 10 o'clock, the clock starts speeding up, and then you start counting hours in reverse. You start, like, as soon as the clock hit 12, you start counting backwards. Like, you be like, I got to be at work at 6. So you be like, I got 6 hours. Then you be like, I got 5 hours. Then I got 4 hours. But, man, DJ Riis the Ruler hit us on the text message, so he said he'd be in about 20 minutes. So I think we could hold it down until he gets here. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore. Ruthie Mizzo for Shizzo. How you feeling this morning?
Tired.
Tired?
Tired.
You tired?
I'm not tired. I'm tired.
You tired?
Long weekend.
I know the feeling. Yes. You know what? It was a long, but I would say it was fruitful. What'd you do this weekend? I know you attended. I know you had to. I saw you had your server, your hostess going on Friday night at Stephanie Coleman's shindig.
That was fun.
Saturday, I think I seen you. Did you had to?
No, actually, Saturday, my aunt passed away, so it was funeral, cleaning up the house, arguing with the family, eating, drinking, talking mess, asking about family secrets.
Ooh, family secrets.
Who on the next person wheel?
What's that mean?
Like,
who on the next person wheel?
Yeah, who the next family member that's up to execute the affairs of somebody that passes away. So we had some tough conversations. But it was nice to see my family.
You know what? It's always nice to see your family. It's like sometimes I just wish I could see my family how I seen them when I was a kid.
Exactly. Because when you start going through people's old paperwork that they never threw away, you learn stuff about their lives. So clean up your paperwork. Hide your secrets if you don't want nobody to find them.
Lord, he be. All right. Well, that is Ruthie. Then did you? How'd your Sunday go?
You know what? Actually, Sunday I went to both fields and saw Riis. I saw Cassandra Matz there. So me and my sister went in, watched the Bears game, and had some really good barbecue. I was shocked. Sauces was good. Top 5 cornbread I've ever had in my life.
Did Riis make the cornbread?
You know what? I ain't even asked because I don't. No, Riis ain't make. Somebody grandma made that.
Okay.
But it was like, I don't know. It was like cake. You like sweet cornbread or like non-sweet cornbread?
Jiffy.
Okay, so you like sweet cornbread. So you
Jiffy.
You would like. Do you put sugar in your Jiffy?
No. Hell, no.
You don't?
Now you're going too far. Jiffy is sweet.
Maize, no. I'm trying to tell you, black people put sugar in they Jiffy.
I could see putting brown sugar on top of it. Like sprinkling brown sugar on top of it.
Black people like cake cornbread.
I'm okay with that. Just not Martha White.
Who is that?
Martha White.
That's a package, ain't it? That it come in? That you got to make it?
Mm-hmm. Just like Jiffy. Same box.
That's
It's
funny.
delusional.
Why you know
like
her
I
name?
didn't know. Because my mama would send us to the store and depending on the day, she'd be like, get some Martha White.
You get more up in there. You got a whole big old bag. That little box
No, it's
of
the
Jiffy.
same box.
It come in I thought it came in a big old 5-pound like flour bag.
Martha White. Same old size box.
I ain't never
It's
seen
trickery
any
for a
box.
kid. I thought it was the generic version. But it's literally, it's like cornbread with no flavor. It's like white people cornbread. Like straight up.
What is cornbread flavored? Sweet.
Right. So imagine figuring out how to make cornbread not sweet. That's what Martha White is. Okay.
I'm torn, Maze. I don't like it too sweet. I don't want a slice of pound cake. And then you got the nerve to put honey butter on top too.
No, that's
why. Dessert.
But you're not supposed to that's why you're not supposed to add sugar. Right? You make cornbread. Now, some people do because it's like a treat. Now, I can see some people making cornbread as like a sweet bread treat. But nah, not me, man. I'm going to tell you.
See, that's my problem with Riis. He in the comments talking about something. I made the cornbread.
Like I don't really think you should. How you gonna comment? How you late for work commenting?
He's so rude. Them was some good cornbread though, Riis. I'm shocked. I thought somebody's grandma made it with who got flour on her apron.
This is exactly why DEION is going to Jackson. Is going to Colorado
For the money?
I'm just saying, like, this the black people stuff. You be like, wait, hold on, you commenting and you are you driving and commenting? I hope so. And then I hope none of my family members are on the joint. But it's all good. It's me. I would tell y'all, it was a good weekend. No, I had a great weekend. Well, let me not say. Well, I would say great, just because when you see your vision start to manifest. Now, I'm going to tell you, my butt was kicked after 2 days in a row. And yesterday, I did not. I mean, I got up. What did I do yesterday? I got my hair cut. I moseyed on over to get my hair cut. I went to the grocery store. I cooked and meal prepped for 3 days. And then I said, I sat down in my chair. And then I just didn't do nothing all day and just watched TV because I was just whooped. But I must tell you that it was great to see the vision come together. Shout out to 16th Ward Alderman Stephanie Coleman, who was really not really the first, but one of the first people to put it all the way down in a new and improved Obsidian. Shout out to Chris Anderson and his crew for Saturday night. It was actually kind of my vision of why we would put it together, because I do think we solved some of the world's problems, or at least we all agreed that they are the same problems. So it was problems, and we had some solutions, but also it was great opportunity to fellowship with black folks just sitting around in a good space, comfortable, nobody putting on airs, and having a good time. So shout out to everybody who came out to Obsidian this weekend and experienced it. It's been a minute, but I think we finally figured it out. Shout out to Big Swill. They sent the nicest compliment. It'd be funny when people be like, this such and such was the nicest, sweetest. I was like, did this get a thank you letter? I was just like, wow. Shout out to Sister Erica. Shout out to Nita. Shout out to Ruthie. Shout out to Auntie Neil. Everybody who had a hand in making sure that, teamwork make the dream work. Bears lost to Packers yesterday. 19 points for the Packers in the fourth. I really don't want to. Does Aaron Rodgers own us? It was like when Eberflus called the timeout with 23 seconds and we could have went to the. I was like, fam, you're getting greedy. Because you know Aaron Rodgers, all you need is a few minutes. Anyway, I ain't even. The TV was lucky that I was so tired. Because I would have threw something at it, but I couldn't pick it up. So, anyway, I feel like the Bears are on the cusp. I know it hasn't been. I mean, it's like this is the year where we get all the bad breaks next year. The ball's tipped towards us. We're going to have a defense. We got $120 million to spend in free agency. Justin Fields is seeming like who they thought he was. So I'm still excited about next year, but I am concerned that Aaron Rodgers does actually earn us.
Ain't he about to retire, Aaron Rodgers?
I hope so. 25-5. 25-5.
What's that mean?
18 points. Oh, see, are you steady? You still coming? I hope you walking up the steps. Because I feel like every text slows you down like 2 minutes. You be like, hold on, I gotta drive. I hope you're not. Anyway, let me stop. All right, next up. All right, and I guess I said next up, but everybody been talking about it. Deion Sanders. I'm happy for the brother. It's like, here we go. I bet people was counting his money, weren't they? I think, well, let me back up. I am looking forward to having this conversation. I'll just put it that way. I think that Deion Sanders, man, how much do you got to give? So we'll talk about that. 10 armed robberies in 2 hours. Did you see that? 10 armed robberies. They showed a map. And in 2 hours, now this is walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning. Same van hit 10 women on their way home from the bars, it seems like. Because it was all off that division area. And so you know how white people have walkable, it's hard to rob black people on the way because you got to get them from between the parking spot to the door. White people walk to the club. They walk to their bars. They got the entertainment centers. You know, all ours got shut down for the most part because they said you Negroes can't be having alcohol. However, if you go to any white establishment, it's like, how you expect me to have an establishment with no alcohol? And when white people but unfortunately, you know they said what it was. You know what they said, right? It was armed black men from the age of 15 to 30. Now, when they said from the age of 15 to 30 was the estimate, that is just a testimony to the fact that black don't crack. How you can't tell a 15-year-old from a 30-year-old?
That's true.
I'm just telling you. So, fellas, just be on the watch out, because I was wondering yesterday when I was on my way to get a haircut, why was there so many police on Western? But then I realized it was Toys for Tots. Did you see everybody riding motorcycles yesterday? Was anybody else out wondering why so many people on motorcycles? Even though it wasn't a bad day. I'm saying for motorcycle freezing weather, I've seen some Toys for Tots that have been super crazy cold. But it's crazy to see the motorcycle gangs with toys.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Joe, does your shirt say Satan's Killers? Ho, ho, ho. Dude, my kid is not sitting anywhere near your lap. I'm sorry, it's not happening. Anyway. Yeah. Let's see what else. All right. To my peers. If Riis was here, I'd say, give us a moment of silence. But I think this makes me know how old I'm starting to get. Bob from Sesame Street died. Does anybody remember Bob? Bob was like the white guy on the show. Not Mr. Hooper, but Bob. Because, you know, Sesame Street had everybody. And it wasn't like everybody was, like Bob was the white guy, but it was like black, white, Puerto Rican, right? Bob, Maria.
That's why I saw my first Puerto Rican person.
Maria? Okay. See? I miss Sesame Street. I miss the joy I had.
Who Bobby is. Oh.
I miss the joy that I had when you could watch Sesame Street at night.
He was 90.
Think about that. He died at 90. Bob. Sesame Street. Can you tell?
He was from Ottawa, Illinois.
Right. Illinois native. That's how come it was in the Sun Times. Shout out to the mayor for efficiency. Did you see she's gotten, Ruthie, 280 lead pipes replaced in the city of Chicago? That is awesome work. Awesome. Until you consider the fact that there's 290,000 that need to be replaced. Just saying, man. I'm trying to think what else. Did you see Trump said suspend the Constitution so he could get reelected? Trump is off the chain.
I heard that this morning.
I was like, really? Duh. I think the era of Trump is, I feel like Trump set the baseline for Republicans, but he is going to prove himself a lunatic by the time it's an election.
Trump is the type that He like a kamikaze pilot. He gonna take us all down.
Think he gonna have like the crazies
Yes.
attack?
I think I think that Trump and Trump types would, like, they are the epitome of burn it down. Like, they don't care if they don't got nothing. They would rather see the country go back to rubble versus have white people not be in control and have power. They don't like all this minority.
Wait, who?
Trumpers.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So they look at Trump as they like the last white hope.
Well, why is there so many black men that like Trump?
Because I think that they would rather see this country brought to its knees also as payback and retribution for their treatment. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Even if you got to hang too?
I think people, that's why I said people, you would kamikaze pilot. Let's just start over. But I think some people feel like they've been so wronged by American systems that they really would side with Trump, because Trump is, dismantling some of the what they call it, wokeism.
Okay, I need some of the wokeism to be dismantled too, though.
See,
I do. I'm about tired of the purple.
well, wokeism used to be black.
I remember I had a billboard.
It used to be black.
Remember we had a billboard that said woke.
Yeah, didn't it say stay woke or something?
Nope, it was woke.
Huh.
It's just me and Charles and woke.
Yeah, I mean, I think it used to be a concept. Now they done bastardized it.
Because white people be like, woke. Somebody walked out the party, said stay woke. Pardon? Black dude at a white party. How do words jump from blackness to... The internet got everything all messed up. I'm just tell you.
Well, they're taking the power away from it too, because now if you say it, anytime something becomes a talking point on TV, especially like if you think about like on right wing media TV, it's over with. Like they literally have taken the word woke, and now it means that, I mean, depending on how you can call somebody woke, and it'd be an insult now.
I feel like it's an insult to be called woke. Are you woke? No, because I'm telling you, when the white people, like it was the white people in the white people in Outbacks. Who makes Outbacks?
You talking about the steakhouse?
No, the car.
Oh, Subaru.
Okay, if you drive a Subaru Outback, you are woke. That's like that's the woke white people car.
No.
Yes, that. What's the other one? What's the little scooter go-kart?
Riis.
Nope. That can fit in the woke cars too. But what's the other one? The one that looked like people used to play like they was BMWs. But they look like go-karts. It's like, but the white women drive them. The Mini Coopers. Mini Coopers.
Oh, I like Mini Coopers.
Oh, you're woke too.
They just kind of little though.
You're woke.
What about them VW Beetles?
You're just corny.
I ain't know that was a Nazi car.
Volkswagen? That rebuilt the car. That's why I'd be like, for real. Like that, I know Kanye be like, for real. Hold on. Like Adidas. Wait. I mean, you think about them factory cars? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to even tell y'all. I'm going to let it be. I ain't even talk about it because next thing you know, I'll be on the list again. But if we started, did you know though that there are swastikas on buildings all throughout downtown? Like if you walk downtown and you look up, it used to be a symbol for like some sort of Indian something you did, like some spiritual, and that's not turned. It's like but it's straight. And I'm gonna go take a picture one time and show you that. Not that I have anything to do with that. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. I was trying to hold on for Riis, but I'm really I need to go to the bathroom. So this is what we're gonna do. How I want to do this. Let's take a quick break. And Ruthie, I'm going to run in the other room and turn on some music. And then hopefully by the time we come back, DJ Riis the Ruler will be here. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
Let the stars be our light. Oh yeah, baby. Then I'ma tell you everything I know your body wanna hear. So baby, listen closely to me. It's all good. Oh yeah, baby. And if you don't mind, baby, I wanna make you smile all night. Making good love to you. This song is for moving. This song is for grooving. This song is for making some real good love to you. Love to you. Love to you. All night.
Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leading me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Gethsemane, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. 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 From glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn it around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our home, Lord. Have mercy. Have mercy.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl Ruthie Moore in the building. We are still waiting on DJ Riis to rule. He probably got caught in traffic. But it's all good, y'all. We're going to make it happen. It is what it is. With the T's, we must do what we must do. I wish I had the time and I knew how to go. If I had a remote control, if I had the thing on the page right here, I'd just be pow, pow. And I'd be like, it's time for the social media question of the day. But let me do this. Let me say what's up to the Saints of WBGX 1570 AM who join us every day at 6:30. That's right, the Saints of WBGX who join us every day at 6:30. You can catch us every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8 a.m. right here on WBGX 1570. Or you can get us on the TuneIn app. Now, if you want to get here early, you can get here. If you're one of the sinners, you get here early and stay here late. It is on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's right, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Dag, I need Riis because I need to open up the phone lines. Because I think this is time for the social media question of the day. Well, Ruthie, it's time we get into it. The universe was abuzz on Saturday morning. Prior to I think it was the SWAC championship, where there were rumors abounding that Jackson State head football coach Deion Sanders was rumored to be taking the job at the University of, Colorado University. Is it University of Colorado or Colorado University? I'm not sure. I think it's University of Colorado. Anyway, it's the Buffaloes. Nobody said anything. It was all, people were talking. It was floating around. It was probably the worst kept secret. But Then after the game, it was announced that DEION Sanders, former head coach of Jackson State University Tigers, had moved on to become the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes with a $5 million a year annual salary and a very, 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 very sweet package. And I think I know the response was mixed. Right? There were people who were like, no, he's not going to the Rams. He's going to the Buffaloes. The home of Eric Bieniemy. Man, in the 90s, the Colorado Buffaloes were a powerhouse. Right? I remember that. What was that, Bill? Who was the coach there? The one that went to be the super Christian guy? Bill Foster, was it? I can't remember, but they had a crazy coach. Anyway, man, I loved Colorado. I loved and hated the Colorado Buffaloes in the 90s. Remember, that was the team. They was the people that knocked Illinois off our national championship run when I was in college. But Coach Prime, as he was affectionately known, took the bag. $5 million a year annual contract. He was getting paid $300,000 a year at Jackson State. And I think part of the reason that people were so upset, I think, is they said he sold it. That's not Ricky Williams' alma mater. Ricky Williams went to Texas, didn't he? It's Eric Bieniemy, famo. Anyway, look, I'll be getting distracted. Anyway. So I think some people are upset with Prime because they said that he pimped the black school to get the big deal. They said that he leveraged his blackness to get a coaching job that he would not have ordinarily gotten. Sold himself as a molder of black men. And then when the big money came, he sold the black guys out. Or the black school out. And so I really got to a point where I wasn't sure how I felt. And then I thought about it. And I contemplated. And I thought it would be great opportunity I thought it'd be great conversation for the social media question of the day. So, for today's social media question of the day, I want to know, should DEION Sanders have stayed at Jackson State University? Riis has made it in, so if you could open up the phone lines, because I really definitely think we should be able to talk about this today. I think there's various opinions, and I'd love to talk about them. I got one. I got a pretty strong opinion on it. I got a variety of strong opinions on it, actually, for a variety of reasons. But I want to start today with the social media question of the day. Should DEION Sanders have stayed at Jackson State University? He left the SWAC. Boosie say, Freylana say he pimped Jackson State to get the $5 million contract. I don't know, man. I feel a certain way about that. And I don't even know that it's just capitalism. I don't even know if it's just the $5 million a year. But I want to talk about it today. So, the social media question of the day is, should DEION Sanders have stayed at Jackson State University? And by the way, since he's in the building, we'll say what's up to DJ Riis the Ruler, who decided to join us. What's up, DJ Riis the Ruler? How you feeling? I know you post celebration day. You good?
Yes, you already know the real. I'm blessed, man. I'm feeling good. How y'all doing today, man? Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad to see you. So it looks like we locked and loaded. It looked like we got everybody here. So since we doing, let's take this. If you ready, let's get the soul plane up and away, and we can take our flight to Jackson, Mississippi via. Now I think I want to go to Colorado. Shoot, you know how it is in Colorado, right? You know how it is in Colorado. They got a lot of extra money to spend on coaching because they got some tax revenue. Anyway, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Should Deion Sanders have stayed at Jackson State University? Ruthie, should he have stayed at Jackson State?
For how long, though?
I'm just asking you. This is all hypothetical at this point because he gone.
You know, remember when he got into it with the other black coach, and the other black coach was saying, "You ain't swag. You just about to try to go work at a different school anyway." And I was like, "No, he hating on Deion." But I mean, I think poaching is a real thing, and I thought Deion was there not for the money. I thought he was doing all this to bring prominence to HBCUs and blah, blah, blah. So I do kind of feel like he sold us a dream in terms of how excited everybody was when he recruited that first black player. We was like, oh, it's about to change the game, and we about to have a better pipeline into the NFL. But I think he took the bag. It's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised because capitalism wins out.
Okay.
But I thought he was on a greater mission related to HBCUs. That's my only issue. If he would have went from a white school to a white school, whatever, or HBCU to another HBCU, fine. But I thought we was trying to get us a nice little HBCU pipeline into the NFL.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I can accept that. DJ Riis the Ruler, give me your thoughts, man. You just pulling up, but I want to know, should Deion okay, he's getting paid $3. So I'm only going to use this part of it for the first part, the $300,000 into a $5 million a year salary. That was the jump. But I want to know, regardless of money, what's your thoughts? Did he sell out? What's your thoughts? Let me not put words in your mouth.
Regardless of money, that's really the only thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, he, like you just said, if he jumped from a $300K to $5 million job, it's not, it's about his future too. So, he got to secure his bag too. He done what he done. He built a great program, but I think as a person, you got to progress. And unfortunately, as a black person, we all wish he would have stayed and did all that. But you got to see he had to make the best move for him. He could be at Jacksonville and probably his salary probably $300K. But the things that he was doing, he probably was spending $500K, to help the school. So it's looking like man,
it's a lost leader. Yeah, and he got to pay extra to bring the stuff up just to the regular standard. So he. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But I definitely as a black person, I wish we all wish he could have did it because we know who run the league actually, and we always look for us to help us out because we always you always find us going to Colorado State and stuff like that. So as a black person, I would love to see him get paid, but as a like to be real, I'm proud of him, man. He came in there and didn't believe in him, and look where he at, and now he being highly recruited. Man, congratulations, man.
Should Jackson State have countered? Let me ask a question. Did Deion bring any value to Jackson State?
Of course.
Did Deion bring to football? Because let's be clear, and this. I want to be clear that this is kind of what I talk about when I talk about you got to know what people's intents are, like when they in the movement. Because when they jump off the train, because they got to where they was trying to go, it's not that they was a sellout. It was like they was on the train to get to this thing. Now they got to do what they got to do there. So my guess is I would hope Jackson State at a minimum would get a scheduled game against Colorado every year, right? Like, right? And then I would hope that DEION in that would prove the credibility so each one of the SWAC teams get some big school to do I think that he did raise the profile of the HBCU football in general. Like, I don't think that anybody cared about what happened at Jackson State football beyond Jackson State alumni since Walter Payton. Like, not to trip out. And I don't know. So would he have been wrong to say, okay, match my offer?
No.
Would he have been wrong to say?
Yes, he would have, because he know that they can't. If they, I think the systemic problems and the lack of funding is a real thing. And I don't think that they could afford really to pay him what he would deem his worth to be.
So he can't get his worth. Okay.
What he perceived his worth to be, but you don't.
Not what he perceived, because he perceived his worth to be, as it always has been, above the world, right? He proved it at Jackson State.
See, I don't think he proved it. I think if anything, he proved that you can use black people as stepping stones.
Okay. So let me ask a question. Is Deion Sanders a better head football coach than Nick Saban?
I gotta say, I mean,
answer the question.
No.
Just answer it.
No.
Why? Is Deion Sanders not smart as Nick Saban?
No, I just believe at this time of his career, he hasn't done what Nick Saban has done. So you gotta say.
So could he do what Nick Saban has done? Could he be the best football coach ever in the eyes of the world from Jackson State? Let me take you back another step. Is Nick Saban a better coach than Eddie Robinson?
The stats will tell you, yeah. He the second.
Do you know Eddie? Who?
He the second most national winning coach.
Who? Eddie Robinson?
No, Nick Saban.
So the greatest black football. So is Nick Saban a better strategist than? Is he a better strategist than? Is he a better communicator to black people than Eddie Robinson? Right. See, here's my thing. Deion can never be the best in the eyes of black people if Jackson State never lost another game ever and won every SWAC championship for eternity. While he was there, he would never be considered equal to the same dude he does Aflac commercials with. He could never be the best, ever, at Jackson State. Can he? Can he?
He could, but it just take a little bit more of an, like an effort.
So if he can't compete in the FCS national championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? He can never put his so let's back up. I would prefer, this is my thoughts. Jackson State would have never been able to afford Deion Sanders as a non-football coach. We expect him to take an L, like economically take an L, because he got it. So let's just say, Riis, he moved there for $300,000 a year, but he got a $500,000 lifestyle.
We didn't expect him to do that. He did that willingly, put it on his back, had us cheering for him, only to be like, just playing. So I need a new Bentley.
I'm not saying what he's not. So let me ask a question. Are there black? So is it, because some people say it's the institution and some people say it's the players. I would say it can be the concern for black men because every football team is populated with black men. Like you look at the University of, I went and looked at Colorado's team. It's 80% black, right? So I don't know that he's sold out black men or black boys.
Yes, he did. That's who's gonna suffer the most.
You think a black man playing football at Jackson State suffers more than a black man playing football at the University of Colorado?
Without a Deion Sanders advocating for them?
Bam!
Yes,
that's
they
my
are
point.
going to suffer.
Wait, who's going to suffer? Jackson State?
Yes.
Because of what? Because of DEION?
Because him leaving? Yes. The way he was advocating for them young people, the way he was advocating for those young people, yeah, and granted, yes, he had to put in extra work, use some of his own money, but he knew that when he came there.
And so how much of his own money, so how long and how much of his own money should he use?
He knew that when he came there. And obviously to answer your question,
2 years.
He said, I ain't doing it no more.
Bam. So should he? How much of his own personal money should he invest in an institution?
If it's for the culture, what's the number?
Okay.
Till the job get done. Was the job done? Do we feel like DEION did the job?
I do.
Okay, well then, in your eyes, he can move on to the white man.
There it is. Give us a call, 872.
Why you gotta move to the white man?
To get paid. because that's clear. Because that's clearly the only way we can get paid.
I mean, that's how the system was set up.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
that's the only way you can get paid.
He's getting paid off he's getting paid off him taking a program that was nothing, and then he really built it to something. So that you know what I'm saying, move on. It's just like, you know, like moving to another job. Like I worked here, but this other job see me and they like, hey man, I really see your
That's
value.
what I started this conversation off by saying poaching is a real thing.
So
if you not even poaching.
Yes,
that's progression.
No, that's poaching. DEION would never be coaching for that white school if he won that Jackson State first. He got poached.
No, he had a plan. I would say. So I think it's just like when you if you went to grad school, you go to grad school so that you can ideally get an advancement, right? But you have to start somewhere. There has to be some concept to progression. But I want to open up the phone lines. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Should Deion Sanders have left Jackson State? Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Caller?
Maze.
Hey, James, what's up,
How
man?
you doing?
I'm good. How you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Went out to Riis's place. Pretty good, Riis. Pretty good.
I think I'm gonna need some ad dollars around this mug in a minute. Go ahead, Riis. Go ahead, James.
Let's keep this 100. If anybody watched, you can pull it up on YouTube, the 60 Minutes interview that Deion Sanders did at Jackson State. Jackson State, once again, all these football teams and all these schools are supported by alum support and the TV network. The thing is, a lot of these schools, and he was talking about how Jackson State will go play a Big Ten school on ESPN and only get like $250,000. That ain't even enough to transport the band and get them decent hotel rooms for these teams. But the other team that say they play Ohio State, forget it. Ohio State's going to get $5 million for that same game. Their school is going to get $5 million for that same game, and they know that they're going to lose against Ohio State. Now, back to Deion Sanders, should he have left? I don't have no problem with that. Man told him in his interview, if something better comes along, yes, I'm going to go. He said, I'd be a fool not to. He said, the thing is, the man as long as he fulfilled his contract and did renege at Jackson State, that man can move around any way he wants to. He brought that team. When was the last time Jackson State won the SWAC?
I'm not sure.
I'll wait.
I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, back up. Cause let me tell you, when's the last time I cared about what happened in the SWAC? Really, never. Go ahead.
See, so you see what my point exactly.
Right.
So yeah, he brought life to that school, but then at the same time, Jackson State and a lot of other SWAC schools are underfunded. Are way underfunded. We all know that. We have to depend. The SWAC has to depend on government funding. We was begging Obama, is he going to help the HBCU? Obama turned his back on the HBCU. We ran the dang on Trump. Trump asked him the same thing. He pimped the president of all the HBCUs in a photo op and still didn't give the SWAC anything. So the thing is, from what I hear, he's also taking his coaching staff with him from Jackson State. So those guys are going to get a leg up. Now, how is people going to feel if once he gets that $5 million, he goes to Colorado State and he gives $2 million or $3 million to the HBCUs? Now, if he gets that back to Jackson State for a better facility, then what? What y'all going to hire you? Is he still a sellout?
Wait, can I ask a question? Does he got to give $2 million, or does Jackson State's alumni got to give $2 million? Because, again, what's this? What did he raise the awareness and the value of Jackson State?
Yes.
Can that be monetized? Can they monetize that? I think he created a space, but I go ahead, James. I'm gonna let you finish. We got any other calls on there, Riis? Okay, go ahead, James.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick, Maze. But yeah, so the alumni, and then we all know this. We know this for decades. It's all based on alumni support. These Big 10 and Big 12 schools and all of that, they have multi-million-dollar alumni on top of that national TV revenue. And that's what the black people, even BET, get on BET, or back on BET, or either with the Black Star Network, I know, even get with Byron Allen and see if they can do something to get some TV time for these players.
But that's how that deal even got value. Right? Like, that's how that conversation even got started on Byron Allen broadcasting those HBCU games, because they had all been kicked off of TV in the grand scheme of things, except for the Bayou Classic, right? And now they're talking TV deals for SWAC games because of the value that he brought there, because of the attention that he brought there. Thanks, James. I appreciate your call. Riis, I'm going to take a break, but I do want to do this real quick. I want to read something that I thought about yesterday, and I'll just read it. Funny thing about Deion Sanders is Jackson State did the same thing for him professionally as it does for his students educationally. I just want you to think about it for a second. Black student with tremendous untapped potential to impact the world, let's pretend that's Deion, attends Jackson State University, where the small institution unlocks the genius and potential and allows him the opportunity to thrive. While at Jackson State University, he's a model student and an example on campus of what everyone should be. At graduation, even though he could stay on campus and be a student forever, the time to graduate comes. You hate to see him go, but you know that when graduation comes, he's going to get the big job and he's going to go make an impact on the world. We'll always get to brag that he was an alum and we'll always admire him, but now when he leaves, he's going to go make white people respect him and black coaches. Deion leaving Jackson State and playing at a resourced school will ideally prove that Nick Saban is not a coaching savant. He just gets the best black players because he has the most resources. Realistically, this should put fear in the NCAA's white coaching staffs, because Deion, with money, resources, stadium boosters, etc., will have schools looking for coaches who can better relate to their players. I'm sure when Bobby Bowden showed up to Deion in high school, somewhere in the decision-making process was the great white coach concept. Imagine a world in college football when Deion is equal to Nick Saban. Imagine Deion coaching against Nick Saban for a national championship. That just can't happen at Jackson State. So thank you, JSU, but whatever you see him as a graduate or he left early for the league, his time at Jackson State could eventually change college football forever. See, I don't know if y'all remember the exchange between him and Nick Saban, and I do think, if you recall correctly, he did want to be the head coach of Florida State University. And they told him, how dare you come over here and want to be a head coach of a college football you ain't never coached. The school that he made famous, that he won national championships for, told him he wasn't good enough to coach at their school. So he said, I'll show you. I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll take less than what I believe my value is to prove. Jackson State happened to be the beneficiary of that. He wanted to be. Now, if you are an athlete, and I think about this like, athletes that I know. You want to play the best. You do. Like, let's be clear, Jackson State is not Alabama. It is not on peer with any major NCAA Division I school. And at some point, all of these white coaches that every black parent tells their kid they got to shut up and listen, all the Mike Krzyzewskis of the world, all of the white boys that Nick Saban, he couldn't compete with Nick Saban because when my mama show up and look at Jackson State University and she look at Alabama, she'd be a damn fool to tell me to go to Jackson State. Not a damn fool. Not a damn fool. Let me take that back. Not a damn fool. But if you come from rural Alabama, where you scratching and surviving to try and compete, you're not going to go to Jackson State where they got a water crisis. You going to say, I want my baby to eat steak every day. I want him to do all these. And so DEION has to go above and beyond. He has to sell the team, not on the team's resources, but on his personality.
Mm-hmm. He pimped the culture.
So
that's pimping.
That's
he pimped the culture. You know how many parents, mamas, like you said, sent their children there because DEION was there? With him making the promises of
they were Jackson State. They were not besides Travis Hunter and his two kids. Besides Travis and his two kids, they were not the kids that go to Jackson State are not D1. They're not a pipeline.
Not yet, because the
pipeline is on my name.
It takes more than 2 years to establish a pipeline.
But how many of my years do I have to spend my money to make the pipeline?
If you said that's what you gonna do and you pimping the culture, at least give it 4. At least.
So
at least 4. If you want a number, Maze, give it 4.
Okay.
2, no. 4, maybe.
I would just say for black folks, it's never enough.
You don't get to pimp the culture and not have people call you out.
I'm suggesting that. Are you suggesting that at the University of Colorado, where 80% of the football team is black, that those black kids are different?
Yes, because like you just said, those are probably D1 versus we talking about. We cannot dismiss the HBCU aspect of this. That is what makes it. That's what makes it a thing. If DEION was coaching at the University of Illinois, we probably wouldn't even be talking about this. If he left the University of Illinois to go to Colorado. But you left a HBCU under like that you so we cannot dismiss the HBCU aspect from this, because that's what makes it a big deal. That's what makes it feel like a form of betrayal.
So then the premise should be that if you have aspirations, you should never, as a professional, take your talents to a HBCU.
No,
because you will. If you do get
you
them,
shouldn't pimp the culture.
So he should not have been an example to black men. While he was there, he should have just been like, play football and don't have character.
I think no.
What we liked about him was that he talked about having character.
And
what he talked about is being an example.
Exactly. He pimped the culture. I'm finna change this around. Do. Respect, honor, and we know that that's what a lot
of his teams do that.
We know that that's what a lot of our black children are missing from these white coaches. Is that instillment of black manhood
where the best players are going?
DEION brought that. He acted like he was about to change the HBCU NFL pipeline. He sold us an Obama dream, hope, change.
No, he got there and I realized all that hope and change was like, oh snap!
Yeah, this costing me money.
It's a little bit more, and these Negroes don't need no. They ain't trying to save themselves.
Capitalism wins. They don't even got their names on the back of their stuff.
I think he made a decision for him. You know,
he did. But I mean, capitalism rules out. Capitalism wins.
Or maybe his family won.
Capitalism. He said, I got to make money for my family. Yeah. I want my sons to be playing in the Big Ten or whatever. I don't know.
Is that all?
I mean, it is a couple things I see in there, right? Should Jackson State have attempted to counter? Maybe not 5, 2.
His mind was made up. They probably would have. They should have countered something.
Okay.
Who says that they didn't counter?
They said
they likely did counter
and said what? We got 500. It's interesting. Let's take a break. Let's take a quick break and then let's come back. But I want to hear your opinion though. Real talk. Give us a call 872-259-7474. I think it's I've been Jackson State and I've been DEION. And it's like we'll talk about that at a little later on today. But let's talk about this how much of his personal time, effort, money, and how much do you have to see before you say, damn, like really? Why? I do think, Riis, there's a lot of times when you look around, you invest, and you be like, damn, I'm paying all this money. Wait, like I got to pay out of my pocket to make everybody else win?
He knew that before he came in. But he still chose to put it on his back, which is fine. But don't just put it on your back to be like, okay, bye niggas. I'm sorry, bye in people. Be truthful. Don't pimp the culture. Be truthful. That's the issue. Is the pimping of the culture.
But when he said, if another opportunity presents itself, I will consider it.
Right? Why we just can't see that he did what he did and he's being noticed by
That's the people who say stay in college for 4 more. Stay college years.
How's that called poaching?
It's a real thing. Okay, so I'll give. Okay. Somebody call you, hey DJ, I heard you on the radio. I got a radio show. I'm gonna pay you 5 times what Mays pay you, and you gonna take the bag.
I would say take it. Because can I tell you what?
Of course you're gonna say that because of course you're gonna say
that.
Because
I want you to do better.
Of course you're gonna say that, but you're not gonna feel that way. Nobody wants to see they people poach.
Let me say this. Let's be clear.
Because if you ain't doing it, if you ain't doing it all for the money,
Let me say this. Let's to Ruthie, to Riis, to Ruthie, to Riis, to Big Swill, to Erica, to anybody, regardless of how I feel, regardless. If you have the opportunity to make 5 times what I am paying you, then I am selfish for me. I am not wishing you the best. I will always survive. I always have. Now, if you have the opportunity to do better for you and your family so that you don't have to struggle or so that you can, I want you to know that, yes, I will be like, damn, I got to work a little bit harder for 3 more weeks or 4 more weeks till I find somebody to do whatever they got to do. Let me
tell you why that sounds good.
5. If somebody
good.
pay you 5 times more,
it sound good until that same person.
Come on.
Until that same person taking what you built, your IP, your intellectual property, and off in the sunset. You're not gonna be happy about that. I learned all I learned from Mays Jackson.
Can I tell you,
Mays? I'm singing your praises, Mays, but I'm over here.
Can I tell you, it's
taking
the story,
my talents to South
It's
Beach.
the story of my life.
So that's
it's the story of my. And can I tell you what?
That's the story of black people's lives.
Can I tell you
that's what people do to black
what,
people. They use us as stepping stones to the next thing because capitalism wins out.
I'm going to suggest that one more time. I told you this. Every job I've ever taken is so I can learn the business. Have I not said that? I will not get outbeat doing Maze. And if you, from Universal Maze Jack, every assistant that I had at Universal Maze Jack Enterprises had access to my Rolodex. Eventually decided that, man, I'm as smart as him. I'm going to go do it. Guess what? At maybe 20 years ago, I would have been like, oh my God. But what I have come to recognize is that there is a big ass world out there for people to go and compete in. Right? Nobody limits you. Nobody stop. I don't own anybody or anything. I am affectionate. I love everybody. But I recognize that if somebody come and say, I got $100,000 for Riis, you bet I will be mad. And if they say, Reese, I want you to come be the producer of the Tom Joyner Morning Show, can I tell you what I want from you, Reese? And this is the challenge with most people. I just want you to be like, man, thanks, Maze. And when we come to Chicago, you got front row tickets. That's it. And oftentimes that's the reason people run from you, because they think you want something from them. All I ever want to do, and you hear me say it all the time, I want to be a small part of your success. And that is the understanding that I have come to after 20 years of being in business. Do I have my 30 days of yeah, I do, because I'm a human being. And then what do? Guess what? After I get over it, I keep moving, and I be like, man, you know what? I don't want no problems with nobody. I wish everybody the best. It's just the way that life works. And it is the cycle of life. No one stays forever because they're always looking to do better. It's just how life is. Now, what I would ask is that in the time that you're there, you give the best. What we want to know is that while DEION was there, he gave his best. He did everything within the realm of his power, whether it was spending his money, whether it was staying up late, whether it was working overtime, whether it was any of those things. He gave those boys the best of all he had while he was there. That's it. The institution will go on. Jackson State will not stop. Jackson State is not the football pipeline. You get one out of every 10 years.
But wasn't it supposed to be? Wasn't the whole goal of all this was to change the narrative, because we saw
that's our goal. That wasn't DEION's.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I keep saying the culture, because it seems like it ain't worth nothing if you can just dangle a bag.
You know what? It's not just dangle a bag.
It's like dangle a bag.
So can he ever? What black coach is better than Nick Saban in history, Reese? You think there's any black coach that, given the same resources as Nick Saban, could have ever be the equal to him?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we all know that the resources, and that's what you had read the little, thing about. Just if DEION can come in and top that, then we all see that it's the resources. That
you can hire coaches that relate to players, and it don't got to be the great white coach. That remember how many black parents used to say, "Boy, you better sit up and listen to coach, and he better tell you, and you all stand in line, and you better get your hair cut, and you better." No, it's like we gonna carry ourselves as men. That same thing translates. Look, let's take a break. Well, shit, we might as well go to 7:30. You somebody on the line? Carly on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up?
Hey, yo, this Rack the Ruler.
What up? What's up, dog? How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I'm good. Saying that I'm the professional on here with student athletics. Different perspective.
Come on.
A number one, Kevin ain't easy. Hard out there for him. But there's Jackson State is worth $60 million right now on Google.
What is?
There's 41 million.
Wait, say that again. What is?
They're worth $60 million.
Who?
On Google. $60 million, Jackson State.
Okay.
I just Googled it. They're worth $60 million, right? There's 41 million black people in America. And we always do this. So I'm airing with the side of Maze right now. We always do this, man. Like the man came and did what he did, right? And as you said, Jackson State is not going nowhere. I was at Jackson. I took a whole bunch of water down there. I was there. And the community, there's two sides to this community as well. And there's a lot of money down there. So if they really wanted to keep DEION, they'd have kept him. But from the student athletic side of things, I don't care what school you at. Everybody that goes to the Big Ten does not go to the NFL. I want y'all to understand that, right? Like, if you at Jackson State and you are a 150-pound running back, you're probably not going to go to the NFL. So it takes a lot to go to the NFL. NFL stands for not for long, by the way. It takes a lot. It ain't just like you go play at a Division I school, you go up to be a pipeline to the NFL. It doesn't work like that. What DEION has done effectively as a Hall of Famer, Nick Saban isn't, as a Hall of Famer that played in the NFL, that brought Hall of Fame coaches with him, So when he got an opportunity now to go and actually take his talent to a bigger school, we're missing out right now. He established Jackson State's program. It's like a kid in junior college saying, I'm going to come here and then hopefully I'm going to go to a Division I school. That's all DEION did. We can never hold anybody back on a promise, a perceived promise that our culture won't even uphold. So everybody give DEION $1. 41 million people, he have a contract every 10 years. We're not willing to do that. We're not willing. In the stadium in Jackson, like he said, I don't need a 60,000 seat stadium. Let's build a 30,000 seat stadium. He bought it. Revenue. Jackson right now could buy anything in that state, bring it to their city, and they can arguably pay DEION more money. Arguably. But did the institution ever set themselves up economically to be viable for DEION? To say, look, you know what? Let's go get some of these big box companies, and we're going to pay you, Mr. DEION. And if money was the deal, if money was not the deal, because he got plenty of that, by the way, he's Deion Sanders. If money was not the deal, then he left because he wants to compete, as May said, against the best. And I'm telling you, they're in last place right now, Colorado. They're in last place. If he even moves the line to being above last place, he is doing something in Division I football that's never happened. Now, what if he wins the conference? What if he beats the big boys? And again, we're not talking about the racist practices that he went through to get through where he at right now. So let's really talk. Let's not sit up here and say, well, you know, he left and all of the people or all the kids in Jackson is hurting right now. He gave those kids an opportunity they never would have had, ever. And now Jackson State has the opportunity to build on what he did. He is the type of guy that's going to lead them a great coaching staff, by the way. He built a program. When you build a program, now all the person got to do is come in behind him and do what he needs to do. So as a person that runs student athletics, this is what we have to think about as black people. We cannot hold each other back. He's going to kick that door open like he kicked Jackson open. He's going to kick that door open. And when that door opens, it's going to be a whole lot of other NFL players that are talented, that are on coaching staffs right now, that can't get a head job. Right now. Now they're going to take over because everybody wants that to have the next Obama, right? Like, okay, I want that kid. This is not about ego, man. The man is a multi-millionaire. Now, he got plenty of money. What he's doing is opening up doors, Ruthie. And again, I would be really careful when we say we pimping each other. We're not. He's giving opportunities to the assistant coaches that he has with him that would have never had the opportunity to coach in the Division I. He's a Hall of Fame dude that can't even get jobs. Hall of Fame. They wouldn't even give Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a head coaching job in the NBA. The leading scorer of all time. He had to go coach in the WNBA. You don't want to take. I don't want to go there. The WNBA. So again, thank y'all for listening. Hope y'all have a nice day, and congratulations to the 32nd district.
Congratulations on your re-election too. Look, let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna be back after these messages. Should Deion Sanders have left Jackson State? We'll talk about it when we come back.
The Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Mays Jackson.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
I want to know, is there an offensive black people list? Who manages it, and do black people have to honor it?
Mays. You're Uncle Tom. That's why you're an offensive. And the reason why you're Uncle Tom is the real story of Uncle Tom. How he worked for his freedom, and then the slave master reneged on him and wouldn't let him get his freedom. So you know what he did? He left. You're messing with the church's money. You were smart enough to work your way off, so you offended the white folks, and then you offended the black folks because your ass left, and because they wouldn't. And who manages the list is both black folks and white folks, because if you see in that situation, the black folks is just as mad as the white slave owner that Uncle Tom left.
What happens if you say that and someone gets offended?
You ran off the plantation, brother. That's why you're offensive. That's all I got, bro. Keep being offensive.
Thank you.
Maze Jackson.
I love being black. Do you love being black? Yeah, I love being black. Hey, I do this for my people all across the globe. Hey, it's brick.
The skin I'm in fit me fine, tailor-made, yeah, I'm comfortable. And so it seems I'm still chasing my dreams. They told me, watch my steps, they want to pull the rug from under you. This is transparency, my life 3D. You live every word that I utter.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now of the politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve them?
Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler, and Ruthie Moore in the building. And it is, we talk about Deion Sanders. Should he leave? Should he have left Jackson State? I guess my question is, like, how much should he have to sacrifice? Like, when can you say enough?
That's what they're gonna say about you when you quit, man. Right here, just
I'm sitting there. No, I'm saying right.
Really?
I often wonder, how much do you have to give? I do. I tell y'all, hear me say it all the time. I wish I could give it up, right? And I talk. Well, that's part of the reason, right? Like, but I feel like I have been Jackson State. And I have been Deion, and you win neither. Realistically, when you Jackson State, then they be like, "Man, it's Jackson State. Man, we ain't got no water. We ain't got no. I don't get the perks if I was over there."
Okay. So I agree with your analogy, except you got caught up. Whereas, because you always talk about how you first started this, it was really like, what's in it for Maze? Mm-hmm. And then it shifted, and some got a hold of your heart. So you would be Deion if Deion would have got something to hold of his heart and stayed with the program and saw the program come to a different level of fruition. And so maybe in 10 years, or however long you've been doing this, Deion, okay, I'm leaving, but can you give it a little time?
How much? Who determines the time, though?
A little time. Two
years is a lot of time.
2 years is not a lot of time.
In
college standards, 2 years is not a lot. At least get a cycle of 4.
I'm saying so 2 years is not a lot in college time. But again, if I'm getting paid $300,000 a year and my lifestyle is $300,000 a month, and so every year I'm taking $150,000 loss, right? It's like, that's not a little time. That's a lot of time.
Back to the money.
100% back to the money, because nobody paying my rent.
Back to the money.
Nobody is paying my rent.
I just like, so you gonna turn on a job that, I said, all right, I'm gonna give him 2 more years. Now 2 more years, he have the worst 2 years of his college career at Jackson State. Now Jackson State fires him, and now he has no offers coming in. We just gonna say thank you, Deion, for staying over there for all that time.
You'll die. He will die with no teeth.
Did he reshape the Jackson State program?
Seems like it.
He could have, but these last 2 years, you know, Jackson State didn't win. They will fire him and hire a new coach in there. Then what do we say then?
But I'm saying like this: Jackson State is now I do think he established a somewhat of a pipeline. Not Jackson State, but the whole concept of so where's Eddie George? Where's Eddie George at?
Deion
Where's
just
that
showed
come from?
everybody. You go to a HBCU, don't stay. There's no value if you want to make it.
Well, maybe he opened up the doors for everybody else. So now
I'm going to Colorado.
We always keep talking about these coaches, so that like these coaches ain't black. So now,
or the players ain't black,
or they be like, "Hey, I give you chances." Now more black coaches, even if they do have to start in the HBCU, are getting them jobs and then moving to the other ones. And then now we may start seeing the coaches start to fill in more black because Deion did it. He may start a pipeline.
Exactly.
We have to
I'm gonna come and step on this HBCU so I can make it to this white school.
You have to step
That's
on
the formula.
So let me ask you a question.
Showed us that the formula works.
If he went, now check this out though, because if he would have went to let's say a different not a black school. Let's say he took his talents and he skipped over because one of those private white schools had. Let's say he went to Harvard, right? Let's say he decided he was going to coach Harvard, and he decided he was going to coach Harvard's football team. Because they could pay him more, and he skipped Jackson State. And then after 2 years of being at Harvard, because he still was able to recruit that talent, he bounced to another school. Then we would have tripped on him for not giving the talents to Jackson State.
To HBCU.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why people tripping now. If Deion went to another HBCU, I don't think people would be as up in arms.
But if he would have skipped the HBCU
in the first place,
yes,
he couldn't have. You know why? Because the white people ain't want him. So guess what he had to do? Use the HBCU to
didn't.
prove himself.
No, he said he could have gone to another smaller school and they would have taken him without a doubt, and their alumni base would have paid him because they get the value. They definitely Deion Sanders on just name recognition alone is $1 million a year. Just the attention. Shoot, didn't they broadcast the College Game Day from Jackson State? That's $1 million in TV value right there. Right there. He brought value to Jackson State. Like Jackson State, I don't know that Jackson State really added to him.
He brought it and he took it when he's leaving.
No, I think, okay, well, let's go to the live line. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show. I disagree, but that's why we have a show. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show.
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all feeling this morning?
Great.
This is Edward C. Trustee Edward C. from Dalton.
What's up, Ed? I owe you a call, man. I'm good. I owe you a call, man. What's going on, man?
And I'm running for re-election. Yes, I am. Hey, Ruthie is on fire this morning. He's on fire this morning. Deion Sanders sold it as he was going to be there for a second. He went on all these shows. He went on Iron Masters. They asked him, how are you going to compete with these Power Fives? He said, that's why I'm there. He sold it like he was going to be there. I knew he was going to lose, but 2.5 years, and then you bounce, and you already had a college meeting with the other team, and you still got one more game to play. It was too soon.
That's college football. What are y'all doing? Go ahead.
Hold on. Keep in mind, he's not broke. We can't compare him to us or people who not. He's not broke. He's not stressed for money. He already said that. He built it as he was going to be there. He's going to change the culture. He got all these top recruits. He's competing with all these other teams, and he got Travis Hunter, a top recruit. He did all that. I thought he would be there to see a few of them to the league and then leave. I didn't think he was going to leave this fast. I knew he was eventually going to leave, but you realize he couldn't get a big job before Jackson State gave him a job. And that's why he did use Jackson State, and Jackson State used him. But if he wouldn't have did what he did at Jackson State, he would have been able to go to Colorado. They wasn't checking for him before Jackson State. Stayed here for a few years, see his son to the league, see Travis Hunter to the league, go through a few NFL drafts, and then bounce. This quick, it ain't about the money. It ain't about the money. He don't need the money. He always said it's not about the money. I don't need the money. He don't need the money. But the way he did it, I understand. I'm still going to watch it. But the eyes that he brought to HBCUs, and he sold it. Then he put God into it. God called me collect. And he got all the black heartstrings with black folks down there. He ain't gonna bring Snoop Dogg and Gilly and $1 million worth of games to Colorado. Sure. It ain't gonna fly. It's not the same culture. You know what I mean? So it says he put on the black culture strings, heartstrings. He brought God. He brought rap. He brought Snoop Dogg. He brought all the rappers down there. See if he can do that in Colorado. It's not the same thing. Also, he played it perfectly. And do your thing. Now he's taking all his top recruits to Colorado. Shedeur said his son is leaving. All them top recruits. And he said at the meeting yesterday, I watched it. He said, I'm coming. I'm coming with my team. He said, I got baggage and my baggage is loose. He's bringing about 10. He said 10 players coming with me that already got positions. So all I'm saying is that, I didn't think he would leave in 2.5 years. 2.5 years? That quick? He didn't see nobody to the league. He didn't say, but he sold it as he was, that he was going to be there for a second. I understand. Ruthie sounded like Sister Minister this morning. He teaching. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it, man.
I appreciate your call, Brother Edward. Do you see Freylana said that if Eddie George have one more losing season, they going to turn on him, though? I don't know, man. I just think I see a lot of counting people money in this. How much money somebody got? He
said himself.
So what?
He said.
I don't mean I don't want more.
He said himself. If he said it ain't about the money, we know HBCUs don't have that much money.
So then let's take it to the next level. So he wasn't there. He didn't leave because of the money.
Yes,
he left. He left because he had the opportunity to coach in the FCS.
Because of the money.
55. He has dreams. Like
he wants to win a national championship. Listen. He can't win a national championship it's physically impossible to win the FBS Bowl series from Jackson State. It's impossible. They're not in. Are they even in the NCAA?
But didn't he knew that before he took the job?
He also knew he wanted to win a national championship.
Before he took the job?
Yeah. Okay.
So that can't be one of the reasons why.
Wait. No, he could have always wanted to win a national championship.
I'm leaving because it's physically impossible for y'all to make it to that.
So the only reason we're upset with
the culture.
Man.
Like Brother Edward said, he tugged on our heartstrings, brought in Snoop Dogg, did some dances with the players, and all the black people, we fell for it.
We didn't really fall for it.
Yes, we did, Maze. We was talking about how this was about to change the pipeline
I think
for
it is.
HBCUs
maybe it will.
into the NFL. Now, if I'm a black player, I'm looking. I ain't going to Jackson State. I'm going to Colorado. Where Prime at?
I think when you look at, I really think the relationship is between Jackson State and DEION. And I don't know how much of our heartstrings he tugged on because I don't know that it impacted anything that we did differently. Except what
I remember us talking about
I do too.
this.
I mean, we got hopes and dreams.
We started having black basketball players going to HBCUs.
I'm with you on that.
We talked about it on this show. It was a game changer for thought processes in terms of how these white coaches treat these black players at the collegiate and high school level.
So imagine now, again, if Nick Saban is sitting in a room with a black recruit and Deion Sanders is sitting in a room with a black recruit and Nick Saban and the parent says, I want to do what's best for my child, right? It's just like we just got through talking. If I'm going to do the best for my child and I look at Jackson State, if I am not independently wealthy, that can provide a lifestyle that is similar to my child, that he would have where we're at, I would say, son, I want you to have a better life. I'd like you to, and I probably would direct him to, and I'm talking about people who be down so bad, right? If you down so bad and you looking at DEION who say, sacrifice for 4 more years. Nick Saban wins 9 out of 10 times. So the reason that DEION got 1 Travis Hunter and Nick Saban has 52 Travis Hunters is not because Nick Saban is any smarter or any better of a coach. It is because he has access to better resources. And that is really all I'm suggesting. And if you want the opportunity to play against the best, right? It's like telling somebody who's coaching at Malcolm X and coaches Malcolm X to 32-0 2 years, and he gets the Simeon recruits.
But how did he get there? How did he get?
He used his relation.
It matters how he. It matters
he uses
how
his understanding.
It matters.
It's just like the NBA and the NCAA, who now have a premise that they stop going after all these white basketball Phil Jackson Negro conjurer coaches and say, I'm going to get a black coach who can relate to the players. It is the same thing. Now, black coaches been relating to black players at JSU forever. The reason that we were excited about DEION is because we probably figured people like that, the black coach that gets into the NCAA has to humbly put his hat down, has to walk around and be quiet because he got to be fearful of the white alumni who will turn on him at any time. We will most likely have a black coach who will have way more exposure than what he got at JSU doing the same thing with black players on a larger scale. So instead of seeing it because we watching Byron Allen late at night and seeing the replay of the game, we now see that. To say that you really think he ain't bringing all of them same people to Colorado? Colorado's a weed state. Hell yeah, he bringing Snoop. Hell yeah, he bringing all those people, because the premise of what he was doing doesn't change. He's just got better athletes that he's doing it with.
The premise changes when you throw in the HBCU aspect. That's
More
the part
black
that he pimped.
More black players go to NCAA Division I schools than SWAC schools. Yes. He will have more of an impact for black people or black people. You're sheltered at Jackson State. There is a whole network to protect you that is outside of the athletic department. When you are the black person on campus, right, and you are in a 39,000, but you the top athletes, you probably need a safety net way more than you need at Jackson State. Now, if you're talking about capitalism and you need more money and more revenue to come, then that's what DEION did for Jackson State. Right? Like Jackson State merchandise, Jackson State television, Jackson State. They got on TV how many times because he was there. Now, black players overwhelmingly, the best black players overwhelmingly still choose white schools, where they are put in the hands of white men who tell them, who we find tweet racist stuff about them. I would love to see a black head coach at Iowa. You can't imagine a black head coach at Alabama because you locked out of that. You're locked out of the coach. Who's the black coaching tree in college football? And every black coach that you see got to keep his head down and shut up because the white alumni flip on him after one losing season. Look at the coach at Texas. Look at the coach look at Tyrone Willingham. They go to these white institutions and the white alumni flip and be racist right away. This dude is going in with some power. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson show. Caller?
Yo, what's good, bro?
What up, Devo?
What's good, fella? Hey, man. What's up, Ruthie? Good morning. What's up, Riis? Hey, it's not DEION's responsibility to save us, man. Like, DEION, what makes DEION unique is that he's won at every single level of football. And his resume on that side is better than, let's say, Nick Saban. If Texas or Houston or TCU would have offered DEION a job when he was coaching in Texas in high school, then all of this would have been over with. But they didn't. So he had to take the Jackson State route to get back to Colorado. Now, remember, Colorado had Cordell, Rashawn Salam, shout out to the Bears. You know what I'm saying? So NCAA fans, people that follow college football, we've been knowing about Colorado. Like you said,
is on the West Coast, so he get West Coast recruits. He get the Southern recruits, and like Brother Steve, shout out to Brother Steve, said he's coming with Travis Hunter and the quarterback and the other people that can play. So the pipeline gonna always be open for players that would not have gotten a look. They can now go to Coach Prime and get a look and go to Colorado if that's what he chooses to do. And then when he went, all he got to do is be competitive in that division and wait for the SEC school to open up, and then that's where he's gonna go, and that's fine, man. Like you always say, bro, wherever you at, add value. That's what he does. When he came to Dallas, they won. When he went to San Francisco, they won. When he came to Atlanta, they won. Add value, black people. We have to, no matter where we at, add value. Then they can't say nothing. And we just got to chill, man. Do we trust Coach Prime, Mays? Ask that question. Because if the answer is yes, then all of this goes out the window. Do we trust black people when they are doing better? That's the real question. I'm not looking for no savior. And I'll land the plane there, man. Y'all have a great day, bro.
All right, thank you, Devo. Appreciate you, man. Next caller. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. Should Deion have left, should he have left Jackson State? What's up, caller?
Good morning, Mays, and
what's up, Al? What's up, Big Al?
Now, everything's good, brother. Hope everybody had a great holiday season. Devo, great call, Devo, nephew. I agree with him on a lot of his points. And when we talk about somebody pulling at our heartstrings, well, maybe we need not to be so sensitive. That's my analysis of that. And then we never stop sacrificing and giving. We just have to do it from different levels. We got to lift our people up and support him in what he's doing. He left Jackson State better than it was before he got there. He was an economic engine for the school, for the city, and the state. He brought other black coaches into the SWAC, black players that would probably have never gone there before him. Hopefully, they did what we need to do politically, and that's train someone to take our place. So I think he did a good job. And for him leaving, he's going to enhance black awareness at a different level. We should be proud of that. So now the only problem comes if he forgets he's black. But he's shown over the years that he never has forgotten that. He preaches that coming in the door. So Colorado, they know what they're getting. They're getting a black man. That's all I got to say.
All right. Remember, Colorado was where the black quarterback got the coach's daughter, Bill McCarthy. He got the coach's daughter pregnant. The star quarterback. Hey, man, Colorado was buck wild back in the day. Like, Colorado was the Miami of the North back in the day. I think Deion remembered them from the old days. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. I don't think Eddie Robinson would be considered the greatest coach because he never coached he never coached, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's number one in the black book. But I think sometimes it's like it's the world book. Anyway, let's talk about it. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. Caller?
Hey there, Brother Mays.
Was that Dean Quarles?
This is Reverend Darius Randall.
Oh, what's up?
Darius Randall.
What up, Darius, man? How you feeling, man?
Hey, brother, I'm doing great, man. You know, I sit and watch your show. You know, it's a great show. See from a familiar face, my sister Ruthie on there. You know, you got a little mad this morning, you know, but I hope she starts smiling real soon after I'm done talking, you know, but it's good to see her doing a great job there with you on the anchor desk. But I wanted to offer my sentiments because, you know, I've a familiar story about JSU, you know, my girlfriend, who you met, Mays.
Okay.
She
got it.
has a daughter She has a daughter she's a sophomore at JSU, and I was down there this summer. We picked her up from college, and I was inspired by the Jackson State story, and I started following, Coach Prime over the last few years, and also following college football. So, like Ruthie, I was real upset about Coach Prime leaving and going to Colorado, and I thought he was a sellout. I thought he, sold out the alumni, and I made a real angry post on social media, and I didn't have a whole lot of folks. I thought I had a lot of like an ESPN following. I didn't know I had an ESPN following on my social media sites, and they all came with their feedback. And after reading a lot of what was said and people's perspectives on the whole situation, it gave me a change of heart. And I started to realize that Coach Prime ain't that bad after all, because after watching him and listening to Roland Martin and also watching his interviews and his tour and his conversation he had with the young man that's on YouTube now, I'm starting to see, and then I'm seeing they have a lot of African American young men that are on the team currently. It's like you said, 65% African American young men.
As is football in general.
Right. And it's black men on there. It's white. So I think what he's trying to do. Some may look at it as I looked at it. Once I thought he was selling out JSU, but really, somebody explained it to me. Colorado was a Power 5 school. So the conference that he's in, he want to be on TV. He want to be on TV, and he also wants to win those bigger games, and also have a more reputable program that has more money and also has more resources that he can work with. Versus JSU, I mean, yeah, 300, like you're saying, $300,000 a year, versus a brother who's used to, like you said, $300,000 a month. Yeah, people looking at it like, okay, money is an issue, but I don't think that, now I don't believe he's selling us out. I don't think he's selling us out, though.
Okay, thanks. You know what? Thanks, Reverend Randall. Now I got to tell you, Darius, as young as he is, talk like the oldest man on. He talk like an old preacher for real, boy. It's like that. He's such a young man to talk like that, but it's all good. He got the preacher accent down. Any other calls on there, Riis? Call you on the Mace Jackson Show. Should Deion Sanders have left Jackson State? Caller, you there?
Deion did. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? This is Hope.
What's up? Go ahead, Hope. What you got?
I think Deion did the right thing. This is a twofold problem. First and foremost, black coaches are not respected as statisticians. Secondly, they are not viewed as being able to motivate white players. Deion has set a new model for black coaches in order to enter Division I and even the NFL by way of swag. I remember during the 70s when the swag players, if you wanted to be in the NFL, you went swag. Deion has set the model for if you want to be a coach in Division I or even NFL, you go swag. So that's to be respected. And in terms of black coaches, let's look how quick they were to set on fire Marcus Freeman this year at Notre Dame. When he lost, had those 3 embarrassing losses, they were ready to throw him out. He had to come on national TV and say, oh, it's my fault. I did it. I'm going to change. And he did change it. But rarely are coaches given the opportunity of a Jerry False. Remember Jerry False, Notre Dame? He went from high school to, if you will, Division I football. That's unheard of for a black coach. So Deion did the right thing. And the other thing nobody has mentioned, Deion had health problems. He had a blood clot that almost resulted in the amputation of his leg. So he knows that, he's at the delicate state of life. He's close to 50, if not 50. He's not going to live forever.
55.
Okay. He did the right thing.
Right.
And
go ahead.
So, you have to look at it this way. Yes, he's got a lot to prove. He's proven that he's a statistician, but can he be a statistician on Division I level? I'm sure he can. And then secondly, can he motivate white players? It is not viewed that black coaches have the ability to motivate a white player, be it the NFL or Division I level.
Okay.
Let's look at Michael Singletary, who was a great linebacker for the NFL champions Chicago Bears. Look at how he's bounced around, struggling through the NFL. That shouldn't be the case at all. He's not given the same opportunity as the coach at Northwestern, who was a player, and he's had numerous losing seasons, but he's still there. His head is not on the block even now. So, hey, give it to Deion for 2 levels. He made it work. He set a new model. He's my new hero. Thank you.
All right, Hope. Thank you very much for your call. Any other calls up there, Riis? Callers, you're on the Mace Jackson Show. Should Deion Sanders have left? I guess we missed all the WBGX people. Should he have left Notre Dame? Should he have left Jackson State? Riis, I just think about every time we have a black head coach who I always worry about black head coaches at predominantly white schools, because if they don't, let's back up. They've been taught not to necessarily relate to players, right? They've been taught you gotta be disciplined, you gotta be right? And I feel like this is almost y'all stuff coming to fruition, where it ain't where you gotta conform and you gotta be this, you gotta go to the white coach and you gotta go date a white lady and you have to be separated from the black people and all of the stuff that makes you the NFL player that marries the white lady long term. Deion married his sister too, didn't he? Mm-hmm. At FSU, right? I think. Anyway, bigger stage. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Maze, real quick. James say again.
James. Now you know we got a 1 call, but go ahead. You can come on. Now King Israel.
I don't do this rarely. Right, but real quick, what if Deion would have had a 500 season or less, and Colorado would have said, "Hey, the Deion's showing some potential. We could use him over here." And then what? Would he still be a sellout?
Wait, I'm lost.
Would he still be a sellout?
If what?
Now, and real quick, enrollment, Deion also, enrollment in other HBCUs went up. They're pulling funding. The government is pulling $2 million from, I think it's North Carolina A&T and Tennessee, because outside enrollment for them are up. You think Deion had something to do with that? And Eddie George coaches at Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I think didn't he get like Jeff Fisher and all type of, I feel like they started like a little trend. And I did have great hopes, but you know what it reminds me of, Riis? You ever had your friends thanks, James. We appreciate your call. I used to, me and Swill, probably 30 years ago, we told everybody we was going to be Puffy and Biggie, right? We had dreams together. And we thought that it was going to be a certain way, and we imagined what it was going to be like when we had mansions and Benzes, and you know what I'm saying, and we was doing our thing. But sometimes, Riis, the plan changes. Sometimes things break differently than you expect them to break. You pivot. You say, how do I make the best of this situation? Because I don't think that anyone knows what it's like to have I'm not saying anyone knows. I don't know if you know what it's like to to be able to see yourself getting one step closer to your dream, right? I think about DEION when he won like a national championship at Florida State, and I think about him probably saying, dang, I done won at every level, right? Like I done won high school, college, football, World Super Bowl, man, and my life goal at the end is to raise up the trophy. Or the NCAA, because I want to go back to the Sugar Bowl and do it like when Keith Jackson talked smack about me and I ran it, right? And I just think about the myth of the great white coach. It's people always tell you can't get there with black people, usually because the black people are under-resourced. And 8 out of 10, I would say 9 out of 10 people don't stay where they start. And you never know the opportunities that you create. You never know the time that you was working at one job and you sit next to somebody and they say, man, you're a such and such, you know how to do blah, blah, blah. I'd like to offer you an opportunity to do something at a higher level that you're already doing where you can impact more people. I think that's why we got to develop a bench. Next man up, right? Because you never know who's coming behind you, right? You never know. So, and if he takes his coaching staff with him, guess what? That's 10 more black dudes that made $300,000 or $400,000 a year that was making 22. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up?
Good morning, Maze.
Byron, where you been, man?
Hey, I heard your show's back in the air.
We've been back, man. We've been back. It's good to see you, though. It's good to hear from you. What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm glad Devo came on already, so he wanted to call and cut me up again. Basically, when DEION was playing, did DEION play baseball?
Yes.
Of course he did, yeah. When he played, guess what we did the television? What station did they see on? When he played football with Dallas, hey, turn the TV on, we got to see Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, when he was playing football, he played the offense and the defense. He was so bad, okay? That guy is a anomaly. That guy is Deion Sanders, and nobody like him. And nobody like him, PR-wise. PR-wise. Forget about the talents and the accomplishments. When Deion's on TV, people want to hear what he got to say. People got to watch him. That's how we grew up, right?
Yep.
So, from a PR point of view, if I'm a company and I want to get some PR for my program, there you go. I spend the money to bring the PR guy to my organization, right? Do what it takes. And sometimes it works and sometimes it don't work. But most of the time, that person will bring a whole bunch of resources to your program. More money, more deals with Tide and Clorox and Pepsi-Cola. All that plays into it. That Deion Sanders, when he's on and when he's any place, people want to see him. People want to talk to him. He's a Hall of Famer. How many coaches do you know are Hall of Famers? That guy got class. And by the way, if any corporation, it's like a plane. When a plane flies, you have a pilot and a co-pilot. The co-pilot is trained to be the pilot. You always have somebody in your line of work to take over just in case you leave or just in case your ass die. Right? Don't ever have a business where you don't have a backup plan. Right? Jackson State should have a backup plan. Every company should have a backup plan. Just like a plane have a co-pilot. So that you can continue the progress. Of course, he has to pursue his dreams. And his dreams, we don't know what his dreams are, but he probably will tell you what his dreams are, but he knows what his dreams are. But he, like the guy said before me a couple of times, he said he added value to Jackson State. And wherever he goes, he's going to add value because that guy's Deion Sanders. That guy run backwards faster than me run forward. Most of those guys. He's just so talented. He's on the air. He's commentating on, he's doing everything. People come to see him. People want to see him. He adds value wherever he does. If he was playing pool, he adds value to the pool table. Everybody come and see him, watch him play pool. That's what kind of person Deion Sanders is. So I admire the guy. He did what he had to do. He's doing it, and he can do the same thing over in Colorado. He's going to bring attention to black folks. He's like you, Maze. He knows where he come from. He's like all these little ninjas around here with state senators and all them and all the that just doing it for themselves. He's doing it with a purpose, and everybody can see that. So let the man breathe and watch his work and be thankful that we have that brother, and then hopefully more people emulate what he does. And that's my comment today.
Thanks. I'm gonna still put Deion in the category of a football coach, not an activist. A football coach, right? This is gonna sound odd coming from me, but I see him as a football coach that happens to be black, and that he will take his black values wherever he goes to coach. I also think that he has the freedom, as he has established over time and time again, that he don't have to walk around with his head bowed down to a bunch of white alumni. And I think he's going to give black coaches a better voice. Let's go to the live line. Oh, the other part of that for Jackson State, my number one rule is never leave your fate in the hands of someone else, right? Like if your whole plan in life revolves around one person, and if that one person can bring you down, then you really then you need better risk management in the first place. Never leave your fate in the hands of anybody else. I tell my kids that all the time. Never just be like, okay, accept. You always make sure that if anything moves, because you never know, somebody could die. Do we stop because somebody passed away? We mourn, but we move. And I think I come from a space of business where I think when we first started Maze Jack, we thought it was the Rockefeller family and everybody was going to be forever. And then you see people see their opportunity and they break. And we used to be mad and be like, oh my God, they did. Now you recognize that you're part of the progression. I can't always do as good as someone else for you. I'm never going to deny you that opportunity, and I don't think we should deny that for Deion. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hello.
Caller.
Yes, hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think Deion Sanders, he did the right thing. A lot of people don't realize that Deion Sanders is trying to get his son to the NFL. And his chances would be better at one of those Power 5 schools where he's going to get more TV time, more coverage, more scouts looking. And they feel that quarterbacks that come from those little small schools, they don't play against the big and faster players. So you put him in that situation, he proved that he can play at Jackson State, his son did. So it's like about the family business. It's football. Okay. His son will be drafted out of Colorado if he can perform like he did at Jackson State on a bigger stage. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I think Deion Sanders, I wish him the best. And you know what? I hope that he continues the same motivation for the black players that he'll coach that he had at Jackson State. Man, I think he and I don't think I know people that used to travel to play basketball because they heard somebody was better than them, right? And I do think about like somebody across the room, like I'm on the same Aflac commercial with Nick Saban, right? And Nick Saban is got all the advantages in the world and complaining about the one time I got one player, you got 65 of them. And he like, man, I'm a Hall of Famer, and he probably get paid as much as Nick Saban for the TV commercials, but can't get paid the same for him. But then having the opportunity to be like, hey man, one-on-one, give me a jet, give me the same tools, I'll get the D1 players, right? Mr. Robinson just said his son plays at a top 5 school, at a Division 5, a Power 5 school. Like he would love his son to go to play there. I mean, I just think the same thing. Like that transfer portal, Riis. The transfer portal this summer or after the season. Hey man, I just think he can shake it up. But you know, I just got hope still. I got hope and I got change. I want to read something that somebody sent me. Because it's real. There are no black coaches in the SEC where 60% of the players are black. Of the Power 5 teams, there are only 8 black coaches. Power 5 conferences, there are only 8 black coaches. We fight for a lack of coaches to get these jobs, and now black people are working against ourselves. We see parallels to this in politics. As soon as you get on, black people say he sold out. The day you actually leave the radio, more than half your listeners will say he gave up or sold out on the struggle.
Whoever sent that to you, why is on away from the black people all the time? That's my issue.
I would say on is not always away from the black people, but there are degrees of on.
Where the money reside?
Man, take it away and see how it works. Let it be no money. It ain't free. I know the songs say so. But it's like, it's, yeah, man. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, dang! Let's talk about the mayor. Hold on, let's see what up. I want to talk about what will be the factors that affect the black outcomes in the black wards coming up in these elections. They said that they said that business interests are aligning, and SEIU and UF, United Working Families, is mobilizing, and they're on the polar opposites. But I was wondering, who represents the black people in the middle? Because there's going to be some wards in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 21st ward have open seats. And with those open seats, I want to know will the two extremes decide what will happen for black people, or will we be in a position to determine the black outcomes in black wards? Look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Maze, Riis, and Ruthie will be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Wake up in the morning with a frown on my face, 'cause I know it's another day that I gotta face now. For people I don't wanna see, working at a job that I don't wanna be, breaking my back to the bone with nothing to show. But I got dreams and goals, but as soon as I clock in, I'm ready to go. So there's one thing I gotta know: why money ain't free? Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? Give it to me. I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free?
Rocking in that 9 to 5, got your girl hella tired. Why won't they let me be? Now I understand why my mama always used to ask, did I think money grew on trees? I got these bills after bills and they just keep coming. Working overtime but my pockets ain't flooding. Yeah, my funds low. Adult life is ghetto.
Why money ain't free?
Why it ain't free?
Why can't you just give it to me?
Why can't they just give it to me?
I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me.
Why money ain't free? Yeah.
Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why
You're listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the fact. Foot seems Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore. My man, DJ Riis, the ruler on the ones and twos. And y'all, it is the last day to challenge the petitions. That's right. It means that some people, Riis, will not be on the ballot even though they did all the work to file petitions. Ricky Hennon keep texting me talking about, it's the end of it's petition challenge day because Ricky is going to be challenging some petitions. Let me see. Now I'm trying to figure out okay. So he says that Jamal Green, Rod Sawyer, Fred Collins, the white developer, and possibly Cam Buckner will face petition challenges in the mayoral space. In case you don't know what that means, it means that somebody does not think that they got all the signatures, that all their signatures are legitimate. And I don't know if you all saw, remember last week we was talking about Brian Hopkins was planning on mounting a challenge. He didn't have a challenge against Mayor Lightfoot. He didn't have his own challenger. He was running unopposed. So he had assembled a crack team of signature specialists. And they were going through the mayor's petitions. And he said, Ruthie, he had found a pattern of fraud. Now, usually when people say they found a pattern of fraud, it means that you've been roundtabling. Do you know what roundtabling is? Y'all know what that is?
Talking to other people?
Huh?
Talking to other people?
No. Are you asking me? Am I talking to other people?
No, I'm saying, so a round tabling
No. Round tabling is when 5 of us or 6 of us sit at a round table and we all take a petition and then we sign it and we turn our hands and then I pass it to you and then you sign it a different way. Then you pass it to another person and they sign it a different way because you run out because you haven't gotten signatures. So it used to be a lot of people that used to be a whole business, right? Like you could pay somebody, you call brothers and them, they say, okay, we're going to put 20 senior citizens in a room and we're going to give them these petitions and you pass them around and then they just start to sign them. Well, according to Brian Hopkins, the mayor's strategy worked. They ran out of time, which is why she filed late. But did you hear the other thing about the mayor? Remember that she took the lobbyist contributions? The lobbyist asked for it back. The story reports that the mayor gave the money back, but when you read the story, he actually asked for the money back. That's deep. Who actually asked the mayor, yo, them checks we gave you, can you give them back to us? Then the mayor says, we're out of an abundance of caution, we're going to give them back, except for $15,000. Now that, you know what that says to me, Ruthie? They just got unextorted. Because the 2 top white publicists right now in the city, one worked for the mayor, one worked for the lobbyist. And so the lobbyist, the one that works for the lobbyist said, we requested that the mayor return all of our money because we don't want to be involved in anything improper. The mayor's team says we do amazing amount of vetting. And so we are just to avoid the appearance of impropriety. So it's almost like I gave you the money because I was trying to get it, and now that I see you get in trouble, give it to me back. Right? So then the mayor mad. You know the mayor them mad because they like, damn. Well, we ain't giving it all back to you because you know if it's me, I'm like, take your funky money. Take it all. Riis, you don't say, yeah, we want to give it back except for $15,000. You be like, man, you better take your money and get up out of here. And you give it to them in pennies.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I go to the bank and order $68,000 worth of pennies and be like, it's here for you to pick up.
Ooh.
Pick them up. So now, then what's even crazier? Rahm in Japan done weighed in. The reporters in Chicago called Rahm in Japan. They ain't telling. They said, Rahm, what you think about this? Rahm was like, it violates the spirit of the law. Now, mind you, Rahm started this. And then, but he wasn't, let me tell you how his came though. They came in 100,000s, not 53s. But I just thought it was odd that I've never heard of a donor asking for their money back. That's pretty gangster if you think about it. Like,
but it violates the law, right? Ain't it better for them to ask for it back?
It didn't violate the law.
I thought we just said it was violated the lobbying thing that Ron put in.
No, the lobbyist can do it, but companies can. So he owns the companies. So he was making donations from the companies that he owned.
So not as a lobbyist.
Not as a lobbyist, but say I own multiple businesses and I write you a check from the businesses that I own, not from me as Maze Jackson, but from my companies. That's the loophole, right?
They tried to make it a loophole.
No, it was a loophole.
Why they take it back then?
Because they had her over a barrel. Imagine if I told you imagine if I told you gotta give me $60,000. And then you find out if you don't really want to give it to me, but I gotta give it to you because, man, I got a lot of work with you. Then a newspaper story comes up. Then you be like, look, I can get my money back. Excuse me, we're going to send a letter saying we don't want to be part of no problems. You was minding you like, hold on.
Got it.
You called me back for $60,000 because now I got you over a barrel. Because now I can you can issue a statement that said because we don't want to do anything improper, we asked the mayor to give us some money back. She said no. So now she's got the ball. I thought it was gangster as all get up though. Like you read the papers, the mayor gave the money back. No, they asked for their money back, and he said you getting this much, but you ain't getting that. You know how when somebody trying to do you nickel and dime them, she nickel and dime them for 15 stacks.
You can't want to unsupport someone.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I'm just asking you. So
yeah, but you ain't getting your money back. You don't ask for your money back. You just do other stuff.
Why not? It was like that they was engaged. And they wanted to ring back.
Not if I done cash the check. Riis, the check done been. She done paid for TV commercials with that money.
Like when you bought that ring and you want that ring back, you know what I'm saying?
No, Riis.
Get that ring back.
No, Riis. So no, it's like a non. Well, now apparently it is, but it's usually non-refundable. Like I've never heard. Like if it was me and you asked me for the money and I was the mayor, it's like that tacit understanding. Like it's like this how they go. This how it go. They be like, we're having an event. We hope you can show up. By the way, you do have the contract for Lollapalooza. All the liquor for Lollapalooza. You should consider being a sponsor. Well, I don't have that much, but don't you have 5 companies? You should get each one of those companies to help you raise the bundle. Now, you really don't want to do that because Ron was your boy and Ron had you plugged. But they like that relationship got to transfer to us. You know how you used to have to be with dude? It's a new chief in town. So now you mad. Hey man, but Riis, if somebody tell me, hey, I need 100 to make 100 million, guess what? As long as it's not illegal, which no one is purporting that it's illegal, right? It's not illegal at all. What it is they're exploiting the loophole right now because everybody is. You know how you be treating people bad for a whole year, and now it's like the one time in the year when you need everybody, you got to act nice. They be like, hold on. Remember that time you came and rolled up on me and told me I'm new chief? And so now she got to get, I wonder if she got to take some TV spots down. Who she going to call to get the other? Well, she got the other pack, though.
The secret one?
Well, it's not a secret, remember? Because they said it's like they blew the whole secret. Because then it's like now anytime you put money in there, the press is looking. Like today in the story in the paper about this one, they was like, well, you can. If you can't donate there, you can donate it. But now just think about this. If they wouldn't have been salty, they could have probably told them to put the money in the 77 committee. But now it's in the news. So guess what?
Can't do it.
You can't do it. See how they did that? They told on they self-reported, said, give me the money back. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that in my life. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler. When we come back, Ram did say it violated the spirit. What did he say? Yeah, we know that. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore. When we come back, we're going to wrap this bad boy up. Yeah, we'll wrap this thing up. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
I've never been lucky at love, no never. I've never been good at holding on. A heart broken so many
I gotta steal.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. Steal it? Not steal the election. Riis, you tripping, man. Ain't nobody trying to steal it. They just trying to knock the competition off the ballot. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore, and my man, DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. And we got somebody on the live line. Is it MC Ricky D? Is he calling to tell? Y'all think Rick? Okay, y'all remember this time last year? Do y'all remember City So Real? I'm gonna have to bring some clips from that. Cause y'all remember when J Mal and Ricky was in the petition joint challenging each other? Mm-hmm. It's about that time again. Randy said, Ricky, please don't knock J Mal Green off. Dang, Ricky, you tripping, man. Anyway, let's go to the live line. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up? Caller?
Hey, good morning, Ruthie. Good morning, Maze.
Good morning. Who there?
It's Butter. What up? Real quick. So, two things. I watched a documentary not too long ago, and it talked about how Jackie Robinson made it to the pros or whatever. But what I never thought about was they said it pretty much was the downfall of the Black Baseball League, which killed a lot of money in our community. And I kind of feel like, so it's a feeling, it ain't true, but I feel like DEION came under the, I don't care about money, this is a black thing. So I would just compare that story to this. What if we would just build our own? Why are we steady trying to get in anything? I get we can grow, we can be in their stuff, but if we owned our own community, if we still had the Negro League, bro, you know how much money, how many jobs, how many businesses would have been created off the money, how competition would have worked, huh?
Do you know who owned the Negro League?
That was it. That's how. No, I didn't. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I didn't
so,
know.
But
I'm
the
asking.
Negro League wasn't owned by Negroes.
Okay.
The Negro League was owned by those that shall not be named.
Okay.
The Negro League was, as oftentimes, people who recognized our pain and suffering exclusion were then the owners who created a space for us, right? In which they wouldn't leave the black money on the table. But I do feel you. Let me be clear. I am somewhat disappointed that my hopes and dreams of DEION being the savior of HBCU football, which I've never really watched ever, except for the Grambling game, and I really don't watch the Southern because I just go to the party, right? And so I don't. It's like I'm disappointed. Like I do wish that this was the great the great messiah of HBCU football. So I don't want it to be like I'm like upset that I'm happy that he left Jackson State, but I am happy for him being able to take off. Right? What's the matter?
Take off and leave, or take off and do better because he ain't at HBCU no more?
Take off and do better because he has a bigger platform and a bigger venue. I don't think that he becomes any less of Deion Sanders because he's at Colorado. I think that they've always tried to put him in a box and make him conform. From the time that he wore the big chains playing college football with the thing, and they told him, man, you got to stop acting that way, stop talking that way, and they wanted to root against him, and his talents allowed him to overcome. I never forget that. I wish I could pull that Keith Jackson up, right, with the Sugar Bowl on his last game, and they was like, he's such a showboat. He talks so much. That's why he's going to be, and then he throws an interception and returns it. They throw an interception, he returns it for a touchdown, and Keith Jackson in mid-sentence says, and that's why he's the greatest college ever play. Okay. So this whole DEION thing for me, I don't want. I try to personalize things a lot. Like I try to take conversations and I try to take all of these things, and sometimes I feel they're applicable. And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about where I would have been 20 years ago, right? I remember when we first started Maze Jack. And we started it as like this idea that I had that it was a family company. And, it was during the time that Rockefeller and Murder Inc. and all of them. And and it was like the Cash Money and it was all these crews, but they were like businesses, but they were like, quote unquote, like these family You know, like they were supposed to be like kind of like mob-ish, sort of like there's this unbreakable bond, blah, 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 right? And so you would have these meetings and we were all going to change the hip-hop game together, right? And I remember I wasn't super pro-black. I was just super hip-hop, and I was all about trying to make sure that black folks was making money, but not consciously, more like I'm going to hire my man, I'm going to hire my man, I'm going to hire my man. And I remember the first time that somebody left, right? They left Maze Jack, and like we was mad because we felt like, man, Joe, y'all been at all our meetings. You've been doing all this stuff with us. You've been with us in the trenches. We said we was going to be a family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, they was on the payroll, but they saw an opportunity and they broke. Some people, and I remember we had a core group. It was me, Big Swill, Tennille, my boy James, and my guy Nick. And then that was kind of like our core group, plus my boy Jesse Butler. And that was like the core group, and then we built, and as we added people, like you part of the family, blah, 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 blah. And then over time, you know, we would do all the stuff together, but they would go out, they would meet other people. Like we were their entryway into the hip hop world of Chicago, right? Like, because we were always excluded because I was from Bolingbrook, so me and Swill started our own thing. And then as people joined our crew, right, they would be Maze Jack to the world blow up. I can show you pictures. They got hoodies and T-shirts, and they would go to the club, and they would be in fights, and they would do all type, everything that it took to be part of our crew. And then I remember the first time somebody broke off and went and did their own thing. And I declared them the enemy of the state. Man, we said we was going to be blah, 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 blah. And everybody that was with me was like, yeah, man, they bogus, they bogus, they bogus, they bogus. Then the next person broke. And I took it personal. And I was like, oh, man, I done put all this investment in you, and I put you on. Nobody knew who you was, right? We brought a lot of girls to the city of Chicago and put them in places where everybody was like, damn, right? And so you know how once that goes, then all the promoters be like, oh, let me get on top. You know, you fly, let me come. I got a better job than Maze. I can get you paid more, et cetera, et cetera. Man, he got you riding the McDonald's truck. You riding on the Coca-Cola Sprite. You should be at the Buzz. You should be bottle service. You should be running your own team. And I would get mad every time somebody would bounce. And I tell these stories all the time ad nauseum. Then we got bigger contracts, and the company never stopped. Like, I thought like the company would stop because we lost such and such. Then one day James called up, best friend, best man in my wedding, and says, man, Jackson, I can't be with you no more. I got to go to the University of Chicago. What? Dog, we said we was going to be hip-hop. I got to go to University of Chicago. Man, fam, I got a wife now. I got to pay for my kids' college. Dog, but we said we was going to do this thing. And over time, and I mean, we went through phases, whether it was Maze Jack, whether it was the intelligence group, whether it was just all of the clubs, whether it was Power 92. And what I came to recognize, like when we started Power 92, like we launched their team. And we was like, man, we are in this, like they didn't have a street team. Everything that they learned, everything that they did, shoot, everything that they do to this day, we wrapped their first truck, right? Like right now there are people who are on Power 92 every day who are doing the same things that we gave them. They took our employee manual and made it theirs. And Riis, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I would be walking around, I'd be mad at them. I'd be like, they did me, they stole. Look, we was all supposed to be a team. And now what I've come to recognize is I wasn't supposed to be mad at those people, because now, like 20 years later, people come back. They be like, man, Joe, I was here doing this, and this. And now, because of the opportunity that I had with you, it allowed me to do this. I always tell the story about Erica, right? But I think about how many people have passed through the doors of Maze Jackson, some kind of way, who I genuinely believe that I'm a good person, right? And that I have the best interests of most black folks, and even when people are around me. But I had to say, how many black folks who didn't like the way I did it, who didn't like me as a black business because I was under-resourced, because I didn't have the same money, because I couldn't provide all of the things that another company did, but because I demanded excellence from them, were able to go on and support themselves and make their families. And now some of them come back, right? And we do work together, and some of them we don't. There are people that are now on international TV who got their start right here. Never come back. If I lived myself bitter because those people left and were able to go on, because we had a dream together and we started it as pro-black, and I would tell you that where they're at, they represent the values that they learned here. Both about economic value and personal value. And so there came a point for me when I was Jackson State, and I feel like in some instances I am Jackson State. I do believe that I am a learning ground. I do believe that I am a place that people come to get relationships to get, and then to springboard off and go on and do other things. I had to stop being mad at that and recognize that that's part of my mission here, right? And to understand that mine doesn't come from me taxing everybody for the value. That's me, as Mays Jackson State. And that's kind of how I see the DEION thing. Like, I have had employees and staff and people who I knew from day one that I was lucky to have. Lucky. Like, they just needed somebody who could do better for them than me, and they would be gone. And that's a sense of pride for me, right? Like, when they don't like you and how you respond, but then they recognize that there's a method to your madness, you be like, man, I don't want to ever see people, like, I'd love for everybody to stay close and do good. And like, but I also recognize that I can't always provide for people to their full potential or to their full value. Now, I'm going to try and get as much value as I can while I got you. And I'm going to try and instill as much as I can about what I know about business and learning. You're going to take what you want and you're going to discard what you want. But it doesn't mean that I love them or care about them any less. It doesn't mean that they're not Mays Jack for life. You can always come back. You can always come to the barbecue. Matter of fact, when you come to the barbecue, now that you're doing better, bring some ribs. Because my goal is not to always be sitting next to everybody at subsistence. My goal is to be able to sit next to people that we're all equal. Where they're not looking at you like, man, you got it. It's like, no, we got it. Then I think about being DEION. And I think about how much do you have to give? How much sacrifice is enough? Who determines when you get to, who determines that? I sometimes have a challenge when we often figure out a way to disconnect ourselves from the people who could potentially impact us greater later. Like, I try to, when people now, not when I was younger, I'd be like, I don't care what I say because I'm mad right now. Right? When I think about, like, as I've gotten older, I think about how many times something that I didn't like that happened to me right now was the catalyst for a long-term opportunity. And so I think we often find it easy to, how would you say, determine. I think we often find it easy to be critical of people without having been in their shoes. I think it is interesting to me because I think about people when they be like, man, he got it, and how much money he got, and he's wealthy, and he can say all that. And can I tell you, how many black people you know that got a lot of money, or or you perceive them to have a lot of money but don't, or have a lot of expenses, and maybe just don't want to be subsisting. Now, I don't know what Deion's economic situation is, and we don't know anybody's economic situation. But I do think it's a challenge when we want to limit. You got to put your own mask on first. And I think about, it's funny because I do think when I looked at the text person I think how do you measure value? Right? And I'm gonna put the ball back in everybody else's court. Cause right, people are saying, how would Deion measure his value at Jackson State? How is your value measured in the world? Right? Is it your hourly rate? Is it how much money you get paid? Is it the lives that you impact? Is it your outcomes? How do you measure the value? Just curious. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Oh, good morning, man.
Good morning.
Yeah, let me full disclosure. I appreciate you. You are not appealing, but you keep it real. You straight up guy, which I like. You know, you that's number one.
I hear a butt coming.
But
I hear a butt coming.
Right, the butt was right here. You right, brother. It's coming. But you down for your party because of your wife, and I know you got to. Period. And you talk about guys that like Trump. I like Trump because he says screw your party every chance he gets. And I say screw your party because for the last 30 years in Chicago, they have railroaded the black community. Now, some people got in, whatever, and get what they can or whatever. And then I know, like you said, you're going to get yours once this election over. And I'm not mad or tripping about that. But I still say screw your party. Now, when it comes to, big picture, I didn't like how they treated Q. He was trying to get some play out the deal. We didn't get nothing, like you said last week. They voted for the marriage bill. We couldn't even get the police reform, and the police been acting a fool. The voter rights, I don't agree with that because there was some bunch of hidden immigration stuff in there, but the police reform could have been done. It's like we don't get nothing from these boards, from your party.
What you calling my party? Hold it. Now, first of all, don't call it my party because look.
Well, you said because rebel. You said we Trump because you the rebel, but people. I admire a black man like you because you speak. It's like when you speak up, you a troublemaker. When you really speak up, because I hated it. I didn't like how they did what happened in the election before. But anyway, that's just with your wife and all that. But period. I mean, you speak up for the issues. But the Democratic Party has been, they have been taking advantage. We could have got, like you said last week, we couldn't get nothing. We couldn't even get the police reform. We can't get nothing. But all of a sudden, everybody is kumbaya. We're going to do this LPT, whatever gay bill, marriage thing. They can come to what they want. All them liberal white Democrats. They can all of a sudden we can, in the lame duck session, we get this done. But black folks, stay woke, whatever you want to call them, but we ain't giving you nothing. We ain't getting nothing but some symbols. And then, we play ourselves. And then, like I said, I didn't like how they did Q. At least he was trying to deal with Trump. You act like Trump is, Trump is crazy. So what? He crazy. At least he was willing to deal. We've been dealing with the Democratic Party and ain't really got a lot to. You ain't got nothing to show for it.
I agree with you, Colin. I agree you don't get nothing from the Democratic Party. It's funny. I was having this conversation this weekend. I just think that we've got to. I just feel like we can't do it with no resources. I just don't think you can do it. And I think we owe it to ourselves to put the best resources out there. Anybody else on the line, Reese? We got callers. We'll take your call. You on the Maze Jackson Show.
Maze Jackson.
Yes, caller.
What got into you today, boy? You was getting some real knowledge. This Ricky Henry.
What up, MC Ricky D? What you down at the Board of Elections? Who you down there terrorizing, man? You picking? Don't be picking on the young people, man.
Listen, man. Let me, like you just said a minute ago. First of all, let me just say this. All who just called. His problem shouldn't be with the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. His problem is with white folks and how they deal with us, whether it's Democrat or Republican. The difference is we have a chance to take over in the Democratic Party. The Republican Party ain't give us absolutely nothing, but both of them is racist to a large. On DEION, let him make that money, move on from Colorado, which had a good program at one time, to the pros, and then everybody understand that, because then that makes from the beginning is the NFL coach or owner. So let him do him. Just like, Maze gonna be Maze no matter what. Can't nobody replace you. I'm gonna be me. As far as kicking people off the ballot, service I'm doing to the black community, because everybody knows 14 black candidates, they all gonna get their kick. Bottom line.
You doing us a service. You doing them a service, Ricky. That's how you packaging it.
That's what I'm doing. Let me say this, Maze. Some people understand, some don't. I love black people much as you do, if not more. And Ruthie combined. I'm serious about my shit. My stuff. But if we don't be real about the science of politics, we ain't never gonna win. Ever. Because you got 6-7 folks on this ballot got a chance of winning and they know it. And they block it. Well, they not blocking for Jesse Fields. For Justin Fields, we need them yesterday. We don't need nobody blocking us getting the mayor in the seat that's going to do something for our people and stop this violence and give us opportunity. When you take over the offices, you have the opportunity. You just got to put the right people in there who going to move on that opportunity instead of just lie and pretend like they forgot how they got there. If you and your wife got married, then y'all ride together, rock together the rest of your term. That's what you do. You don't dump the people you with. And I promise you, I wouldn't be with Willie Wilson if I thought he would turn his coat on our people if he went. I know he won't. And that's the bottom line. I don't care if he's country than the Beverly Hillbilly. Who cares? The bottom line is what he will do. So, yeah, Jamal got a problem. You got 14.
Who else got a problem? Who else got some problems down there, Ricky? Just keep us in the loop.
I'm going to keep it real. Frederick Collins got a problem. I kicked him off 7 times. I ain't messing with him this time. That's somebody else's problem. You know what I'm saying? He black, police, good guy, but he can't win. Sawyer can't win. He only had 17,000. I love Rod. What are you doing? What are you doing? There are other opportunities can come his way. I hope Cam make it, but he's got a problem. Pretty much handicap the whole field. Eric will make it. I believe Sophia King gonna make it. Brandon, Vallis, Chewy, Willie Wilson. Everybody else gone. See ya.
You working on any automatic races? Which race do you think is gonna be the hot ones to watch?
The hot automatic race. Let me go back, because I'm so glad God works so good. Praise His holy name. The key to turnout is all these races. People need to understand. Yeah, black turnout was, but it's going to be up now because of all these automatic races. Thank God you got 14 people running here and 12 there and 13 there and 16 and a half there, 2, 3 write-ins there, 8 here, there. That means all of them going to bring their black voters to the poll. Black turnout is going to be up. 21st going to be hot. On the west side, 24 is going to be hot. 37. It's competitive out here this time, man.
You think 37 is competitive? What?
I know 37 is competitive. I served 37 ward was part of the 5th senatorial district. We with Emma, we're going to rock with Emma to the end, and that's that. But she's got her biggest challenge is the Latino. I believe you said earlier the unions and business are fighting together against each other. Who's going to determine the outcome? Going to be people like you and me, because we got candidates in them races too, not just the unions. We like the teachers union, but they can't run all our politics. Definitely not the big business folks. We got to do it, Nate. That's why I'm stepping up doing this kind of stuff. That's why you still on the radio. You would have been there. But I know if MSNBC or CNN call you and say, "Hey, we'll give you $100 million that you buy," we ain't gonna hear you. Let's go on the 208 station, and you should get that check. And that ain't no sellout. That's you doing what you're supposed to do. Then you got money to reach back and help other people.
Then I could hire a host for the show. Right then, somebody could do the Maze Jackson show. Well, it'd be the new morning show, Chicago AM. Right? You gotta keep the pipeline going. If don't nobody go up, then ain't no new spots. Everybody want to die in the spot.
The Ruthie Rogers, the Ruthie Moore, Ricky Henderson show. We won't even charge you but about $17.5 per episode.
Why y'all gotta do it for free? No. In the spirit of Wiftaba, you must do it for no compensation. No. That's how it's gotta go.
Now,
if I start charging, then y'all gonna be mad, right?
Fifth ward gonna be hot. Fifth ward gonna be hot. Seventh ward is gonna be competitive. And the ninth is gonna be crazy.
You think the ninth ward is gonna be crazy? You think they're gonna be messing with Alderman Bill? They done took all Gail Gardens up out of there. Yeah, I heard that too. So look.
And what they doing when they move those lines. Let me say this about Chewy, and I'm gonna let you go. Chewy Garcia, he's talking about that black-brown coalition. He just stabbed his black coalition partner in the back, Brandon Johnson. You had him on the other day. Facebook was down on the why I couldn't get you, whatever. But that was his brown coalition partner. Stabbed him in the back with the butcher knife. As soon as they lost the house, if they won the house, his butt there. But they lost. He's like, I ain't gonna be here in the minority. He's not willing to fight for the progressives. He just rides your back. He rolled Harold's back. Every time you say Harold Washington's name, I want to throw up. Like I ate a bad, I ain't gonna say it, but I want to throw up every time. If he was real about black-brown coalition, he wouldn't have stabbed his black partners in the union, the teachers union and the other union, and Brandon in the back, and ran, knowing Brandon was filing the petition thing and had a chance. But he did. He did. This black-brown coalition, Chewy killed that when there was the black, the white, the Latinos were in the black caucus. You remember that name?
Oh, yes, I do. Y'all did this. This is all y'all fault. This is all y'all fault.
So they got 3 members. They had 2 members. Chewy Garcia and Miguel del Valle. They in the Senate Black Caucus. We did everything they needed for the Latino community. Everything. And they voted with us specifically. When they got a 3rd member, Marty Sandoval, they said, we don't want to. We're like, what? They said, we want our own thing. I'm like, what? I think, Chewy, we'll make it the Black Latino Caucus. He said, no. When Harold died, I saw Chewy. Chewy said, we don't want to be in no coalition with nobody who ain't got no power and going backwards. Instead of staying with us and fighting for us to get power. Chewy ain't nothing. And we got to wake up and see that. And because he's not real. The things I said, people should ask him, did he do them? He can't deny he did. Everything I told is the truth. He is not a black-brown coalition builder. He is a Chewy builder. We need to chew him up and spit him out. I'll holler at you later.
All right. That was MC Ricky D, better known as Ricky Hendon from the West Side, playing in all the races. So I think there's 2 things I should do, right? Like, well, no. I was going to say,
I think I might enter the consulting business after January 1st. And I think, do I offer my services to? That's all right. We're gonna talk about it. But guess what? It's getting crack-lacking out here. It's gonna be a good time. Ruthie, you got anything else on this one today?
Nope.
Okay, Riis, the ruler, you got anything on this one, my brother?
None at all.
All right. Well, this is the Maze Jackson Show.
Man, y'all get y'all money out there, man. Don't let nobody, not the culture, not nobody, get your money out there, man. Because if somebody else can get theirs, that they gonna for sure leave you behind, tell you what you ain't gonna do, and see that you don't know nobody struggle what they going through. Y'all get that bag, man. And you don't gotta explain yourself to nobody.
There it is, and that's really how it go anyway. It is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. For Riis and Ruthie, this is a place where we ask the question every single day: what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it.